There is so much that goes into getting ready for a holiday, and I have found it doesn't matter whether you have a large crowd, a small crowd, or no crowd at all. It's so important to keep your priorities straight. So, welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen, and let's get started. One thing you might notice in my kitchen, since I didn't even try to edit it out, is I'm just like back and forth all the time. I noticed that when I'm looking at this footage. So I started myself a cup of coffee because let's just be honest, the most important part of my day right now is the coffee. While that is coming out of the Keurig because I actually can fit like a cup, like one large cup and one small cup in my coffee mug. So what I do is once the large cup has come through, I just go ahead and I lift the lid, put it down again, and get more coffee, and it's not too weak. I noticed that the K-Cup can handle more water than I give it credit for. So I'm using my Mrs. Meyer's, I think it's called Snowdrop, on the island, getting it all clean because I know I really want to get that refrigerator cleaned out, because I think the most important part of any holiday when you're going to be hosting the meal is getting your refrigerator ready for all of the foods that are going to need to be stored in there. So not only do I need to see if there's anything I can get rid of, but I need to reorganize it and repack it in so that I have as much spare space as possible. You'll definitely be seeing my family in and out of the kitchen. You know, Rachel, she's doing her lunch dishes right now, which I completely appreciate. We have our turkey kind of in a soup pot beside her, a little cockeyed. And we just keep flipping it over because it's frozen solid. We didn't get the cheapest turkey, unfortunately. The grocery store ran out of them super quick, but we did get one for like 69 cents a pound, I think. 39 cents was the cheapest. It might have even been 99 cents by the time I got the one that I got. So I'm doing the outside of the refrigerator first, because what always happens to me is I'll do the inside of the refrigerator and then I kind of fizzle out and I'll say I'm going to take a break in my head, of course, to no one but me. I'm going to take a break, come back, do the outside, and oftentimes I don't get to it. So this time I thought, do the outside first, and then you know you're going to get to it. I really was unsure how much bandwidth I was going to have the day before, so I just told myself whatever I get done is wonderful, and when I stop, I stop. And I definitely stop before I prepare any of the vegetables, but it worked out fine, as you'll see. The next day, we did get them all prepared. It wasn't that big of a deal, but anything I can get done ahead is definitely a good thing. And I think getting this refrigerator cleaned out, I'm glad I made that the priority. I don't always start where it is most efficient. So I feel like I really did it this time, and I was happy with it. Now I'm taking out things. I haven't done this in a long time, but there was something not smelling right. Yvonne had been complaining to me, and I didn't really smell it, but she's a super sniffer right now, being pregnant. She can smell anything from a mile away. So she had been telling me that the refrigerator was smelling, and I wasn't really smelling it. But once I started taking things out, then I understood. So I'm getting things rearranged so that I can get the liners out. I found something on this little Lazy Susan. I have several sizes of these, some with sides, some without sides. Look, I'm doing the sniff test right now, and I'm like, okay, something's not right. But I didn't feel like that was all. So I still haven't completely discovered it. I'm just thinking the liner there, the blue-green liner, is wet, when actually something had leaked and rotted. So you're going to get to see my reaction here. Look, there it is. Yeah, that was when I realized, oh my goodness. So I got out the strongest smelling cleaner I have, which is the antibacterial. I wasn't really worried about leaving it on for 10 minutes the way they say for you to do. I more was thinking this is going to make it smell different in here, and it worked like a charm. So I took out the liners. I ended up washing them with dish soap and leaving them to dry. And honestly, I just put them back in the no, I haven't put them back in the refrigerator. I just dried them yesterday, which was on Black Friday, and they're ready to go back into the refrigerator today, but I don't think I have done it. Well, then I also realized, okay, more important even than the refrigerator is you can't clean out a fridge until you clean the dishes out of your sink. I wasn't thinking I was going to have to do this because I thought I was mostly rearranging and yes, maybe getting rid of a couple of dishes worth of, food that needed to be thrown out, but I didn't think I would really need the sink. And now I've realized with the rotted liners that I definitely need my sink cleaned out. So there was no procrastinating, and I'm using the disinfectant there because I had the liners sitting there on the countertop. Of course, I don't want my countertop to smell. Isn't that just the way? Sometimes if I hear somebody in the shower, I will wait, and sometimes I don't, and I think, well, they saw me cleaning in here, so I'm sorry, but I got to get this done. But on this day, I thought there's plenty for me to do. I use white vinegar in my dishwasher instead of rinse. I find it works really, really well, and that I don't have to buy the expensive rinses. And I'm using the Wyman's the Wyman stainless steel cleaner, which I love. This dishwasher can be hard to clean because it can very easy be streaky because I did not buy the fingerprint resistant stainless steel dishwasher, whereas the refrigerator is, and it is such a huge difference. So I'm getting this bottom shelf cleaned out. As you can see, yeah, it definitely needed to be done. And so we're getting it all cleaned up. And one of the reasons, besides when I smelt the funk, that I realized I wanted it to get done, I'm doing the sniff test, but that one didn't smell. So it hadn't gotten to the bottom shelf. But also I was figuring, usually once the holidays start, there's, special dishes and leftovers throughout the entire month. And so I thought I better get it wiped out now because who knows how long it is really going to be until I get to wipe it out again. So that was why I kind of had determination to get it done today before we got going with Thanksgiving food. Thankfully, we didn't have a lot of food in the house during this time, so that made it super easy for me. I also had some bananas that really needed to be cooked into something that I had in the fridge, so I am going to make a banana bread here in a few minutes is it in a few minutes? Yes, it is in a few minutes that I made the girls so that they could have banana bread on Thanksgiving morning for their breakfast. It's always nice to have something fresh and homemade. These are just regular containers. They're not specific to a refrigerator. The liner I have there I got on Amazon, and it is washable. So those containers just needed to be washed up. It's great to be able to pull them out. I don't have containers on the right side because my refrigerator is up against the wall. It's hard to get the containers out. So those carrots, those were not in the best shape. So I had to throw a couple of them away, and the rest we used to make some turkey stock that we use for gravy on Thanksgiving Day. My husband used the neck of the turkey with some vegetables and herbs and made a nice stock that we use for gravy. So I was getting rid of some chili. Sadly, then my husband came home and said, "Hey, where's the chili?" Oh my, he was going to eat the chili. I really didn't think anyone was going to eat that chili. Then he had this jalapeno and some vegetables that he had pickled, but he hadn't touched that in a really long time, and he never did notice that those were gone. So that was the only two things I had to get rid of. I felt pretty good about that. Then we had these Brussels sprouts, and I thought I'll put them in a produce keeper so that they'll last longer. There was one bag. And then we had the rest of another bag still in the refrigerator. So I got that out, added that to this container. Those produce keepers, I mean, you can get those just about anywhere. I got them on a clearance somewhere. I think it was like Bed Bath & Beyond when their stores were closing, but I've seen them at Walmart and different places. And so I also had some heads of broccoli in the refrigerator as well. So I decided to cut the big stems off. Now, one day you guys saw me throw the stems away because I just couldn't be bothered, but I do really love the stem. So the past couple times what I've been doing is then cutting up the stem and putting that in a separate bag so that I can have it later. And it's a great little snack when you're just hungry, but you don't really want to consume a lot of calories. So sometimes I'll do that when I'm waiting for supper. I'll just take out my little broccoli stems and munch on those. But they're also really good with like a low-calorie ranch dip or another salad dressing. So that went in a produce keeper as well. I did kind of regret that later because that one was bigger than it needed to be and it took up a lot of space. I thought I was going to have to pull it back out and put them in like a Glad Luck bag, but as it turned out, because it was just us for Thanksgiving, I didn't need to. This is the rest of Yvonne's ice cream cake that was from her 19th birthday. And so I decided to get it out of that 9x13 that we had it in because there wasn't much left. And I just put it in a bowl with some saran wrap on top, popped it back in the freezer. And that way, whoever wants it, I was saying to Yvonne, when you want this again, you just take out the whole bowl and you don't even have to cut it. You just munch away. I'm telling you, I don't know what I would do without saran wrap in my life. So sipping on my coffee, and what are we going to do next? Okay, so I had made a crustless pumpkin pie. I had put it on the channel here. This is what's left, so I'm just kind of stacking it into a container in case anybody wants it on Thanksgiving because I'm not making a pumpkin pie. I took a taste of it because I don't eat pumpkin pie and realized I do enjoy the flavor. I think it's the texture that really bothers me, but I bet if I ate a little over time, I might like it, but I really don't want to try too hard to like something that's high in calories. So at the end of the day, it's probably just as well that I don't love pumpkin pie. I'm getting things wiped up in between and then I can continue. Hallelujah, I have finished up the refrigerator, or I am finishing up. All I got to do is those drawers, and then I'm planning to move on to making banana bread. So I was vacuuming up all the little bits that are in this refrigerator. I'm really happy to have a vacuum where I can do that. I can just stick it wherever I need to stick it and wipe it. There's definitely like plastic seams in these drawers that you cannot get under to get out whatever is in there, which is sad. I got out my vacuum, as I said. So putting the vacuum away, that's Yvonne behind me. She is working on dishes. I was going to make the banana bread, and she said, if you'll make banana bread, I will do the dishes. So that was a good deal for me. In hindsight, it might have been better if I'd have done the dishes and she did the banana bread, and you will see why in a few minutes, but in the end, everything was fine. I am using the Better Homes and Gardens, the newer edition. I do have an old edition that's like 30 years old. This was a new edition where I was trying to buy Yvonne a better Betty Crocker cookbook. And for some reason, by mistake, I grabbed the Better Homes and Gardens. I think because it had a cover similar to my Better Homes and Gardens, and we always call it the Betty Crocker cookbook, even though it's not. I was shy on how much banana I had, but I thought, it's fine. I'm just going to try it. I'll put a tiny bit of extra oil in to make up for the moisture, which really that wasn't a problem as it turned out. So I had been keeping those in the refrigerator, and whenever you make bananas cold, the outside skin is going to turn black. But one of them was definitely as overripe can be without needing to throw it away. I have been enjoying baking lately, and unfortunately, I'm trying not to eat the stuff that I bake, so that's an issue. But oh well, we digress. As you can see, the kitchen is always very busy. Our youngest Ava came in and she is getting rid of her dishes into the dishwasher from supper. This is after supper. As you can see outside the window, it's dark out, which doesn't mean much this time of year. I'm just now adjusting to the time change and to the darkness of telling myself that my day doesn't end at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I can actually get things done after 4 o'clock, even though I do tend to just mentally and physically shut down at 4, but I'm trying very hard not to do that anymore. We used to have a hand mixer, those $10 or $20 hand mixers that you can get, and it broke, and I've never replaced it. We have a standing mixer, kind of an off-brand standing mixer that works perfectly fine. It's just a lot to take out. So lately what I've been doing is when I need to use a beater, I will take out my immersion blender and use that, and that has been working out great. So if you don't have a hand mixer but you have an immersion blender, try using that for all of your mixing needs when you also don't want to pull out your standing mixer. I really want to play one thankfulness song since it's Thanksgiving. I know that not all of you celebrate Thanksgiving, but I know all of you practice being thankful. But first, I want to show you the error that I made in this recipe. So I'm beating the egg and I'm going to add the sugar here in just a minute. You're not going to believe what I did. This was like the craziest banana bread ever. So here I am. It calls for 1 cup of sugar. I don't know what I was looking at. There's only 2 cups of flour, and there it is. I put in an extra full cup of sugar. And then later I realized what I had done, but I couldn't quite remember if I had done 2 cups of sugar. So I ended up putting it in anyway. It rose up really high, the banana bread, and then it sunk in the middle. But the odd thing was the middle wasn't gummy at all. And I don't know if it was because I put it in a stone bread pan, or I don't know. And it was more crystallized on top because of the extra sugar. Plus I put a little extra oil in there, and so that would do it too. Oh, it was crazy. But actually it tasted so good with the extra sugar that it still got eaten and everything was fine. So, okay, now I really want to put in at least one thankfulness song, since I'm kind of celebrating a season of thankfulness.
You're always resting at my door. Though I've wavered, you've been waiting. I'm the one you're looking for. Gratefully and humbly, I give you everything. And all that I can sing is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You alone can see me clearly, even in my deep despair. In the giving we receive it. Show me how to meet you there. Gratefully and humbly, I give you everything. And all that I can sing is thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Whoa, that's good.
Gratefully and humbly, I give you everything.
There.
And all that I can sing
Excuse me.
is thank you, thank you,
Oh, I know. Let's pick that one up.
thank you,
Say, oh, what happened?
thank you.
Oh my goodness, it's gone. I have to like pick the button out on the back with my fingernails. Yikes.
Should I use the rest for these? Because like, there's only these 2, or Or are we making
Yeah.
carrots today?
We're not making carrots.
Okay. So I should just use the rest of these for
Yes.
If you notice me moving slowly, many of you know that a few weeks ago I kind of threw out my back a little bit. I'm missing L4 and L5 discs in my back, so that's my lower back. And so once in a while, and usually when the temperature really changes, especially from warm weather to cold weather, it's not uncommon for me to get a flare up. And it did just happen to happen when I was cleaning the pots off the deck. So I don't know if I strained it, or I have been very anxious lately and stressed over some situations. So that is, I'm sure, not helping. So I was trying to walk it off kind of thing. And I got these new sneakers. They're actually Dream sneakers, but they weren't exactly my size, but it seemed like they did well anyway. And I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but was trying to really walk off my back issues, because honestly, that is the quickest way to get over back pain, is to walk it out. Being still doesn't help. So you notice I'm kind of lumbering. Well, one day I put in 10,000 steps with my new sneakers, and I woke up the next day and the inside of my left ankle was just not happy and done. And so I'm struggling with my foot. And of course, now I can't walk off my back issues because I'm trying to heal my foot. And I'm also trying to find a new doctor. I have an OBGYN, but I need a new primary care physician, and I haven't been able to find anyone who's taking new clients. And I especially love to have a female doctor. So that is just things of life we're working through. And Leo has had a little bit of a cold, so he's not acting himself either. We're just all limping along here, but I'm so thankful we did have a lovely Thanksgiving.
Okay, dude, you're gonna gross out my viewers.
The baby, you're so stubborn.
Here, there's a nice chair for you. You can still see everything that's happening.
My table was completely decorated by Dollar Tree. So Yvonne and I got these tablecloths. I had no idea this tablecloth was so long. It was perfect because it came in a pack of 2 for $1.25. And then that platter at the end matches the dishes. We bought dishes from Dollar Tree. So each cup was, $1.25. Each plate was $1.25. But where I only needed to buy 5, like the whole beauty of it was I could get exactly how many we needed. And I felt like if I bought a package of paper plates and a plastic cups, like it wouldn't be nearly as pretty and it would cost the same amount of money or more. So we were so happy to do this. But as I started to put these out, I realized, oh, I didn't wash these. So I had to take them back off the table and go give them a quick wash. And then I was able to put them back. But it really did add just a festive flair to our Thanksgiving. And look at Leo. He's like not wanting to miss one thing. Leo had ear infections, and so he was treated, and he goes back this week to be checked. Woozy also goes back this week just because he has a, regular checkup appointment. And the funny thing was, Yvonne and I and Rachel are talking about the cats going to the vet. My husband was we were talking about Woozy going to the groomer, because he had a groomer's appointment that we had to cancel because we had to bring Leo to, I don't know, we just have lots of adult as well as animal doctor appointments. So we were completely confused and we had no idea. Communication was not happening. So I just had to include this because I bet some of you can relate. Do you ever have times where everyone's having a conversation, but you're actually having 2 completely different conversations without realizing it? And like one side's thinking the other side is completely crazy. That's exactly what was going on here. So I love that when I just have a camera set up. It takes me a long time to edit because I'm trying to, make sure there's not conversations I would love for you to hear, and then block out the ones that would just be regular and kind of boring.
Animals don't respond to having their nails clipped and being doused with water. That's just the truth.
How is he supposed to be doused in water?
They bathe him.
Oh, they don't bathe him at the vet.
Yeah, they spray him down.
They do?
Yes, he gets a bath and a towel
Oh.
and the whole bit.
That's good.
I didn't know that. That never tells us.
I know. I do want to call him, make sure that cut his nails. I want them to
Right.
trim
The
his
issue they
nails.
had with his nails was he wouldn't stand still one time. I think the last time it was alright. They did his nails, right? He comes home smelling like lavender or whatever. They definitely
Do you mean the grooming place or the
I
vet?
think he's talking about the room.
talking about the grooming place.
No,
What are
we're
you
talking
talking
about the vet.
Oh yeah, they don't give him a bath at the vet.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
They spray him down with water.
No.
Wait, I just want to wash the potatoes.
Oh.
The tablescape is very beautiful.
Thank you. Wait till you put the dishes on.
I like the big turkey plate.
Yeah.
Did you leave my phone?
Your phone wasn't on the table,
Okay.
so no.
How are you doing? I want you to make a kid soup.
Thank you.
Alright, so we've got bunches of everything. Do you need me to cut those?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So,
so
here, let me show you a tip. If you cut the edge first, like this, you get a flat edge. Then they don't squiggle around. Okay?
You can.
Okay, now let me tell you a tip,
Yeah.
Yvonne.
Yeah.
You act helpless, and then he comes in and does it.
No, literally.
Stop. That's helpless. That's not a good look for anybody.
Oh, I don't know. Served me well over the years. I
Yeah.
don't even have a back problem. Just kidding. Would that be funny though?
No, absolutely not. That'd be funny.
Oh, goodness. Let me know if you can relate to these conversations at your house. Oh, my goodness. It's so funny to come back and edit because then I realize I did say vet to him when I was over there standing by the oven and he didn't hear me. But I've been telling him that both of us need to go to an ear doctor and have our hearing check. We're both losing our hearing. It's really sad, actually. But you know that if you have AirPods, there's a setting on your iPhone that you can set that when you plug your ear or when you put your AirPods in, they can actually act as hearing aids. So I am going to try that and see how it helps me. I have them charging right now. But one thing that is typical for AirPods that I was told when I purchased them is they notoriously have one ear go out. And I am having trouble with the right ear of my AirPod. Most of the time, if it's fully charged, it'll be okay, but I'm just going to have to plug them in daily or something because they just don't, I don't know. I've had them for a couple of years, so it's past the warranty. I did get an extended warranty because of that reason. The man at Target was kind enough to tell me you need an extended warranty because there's a high probability that one of those ears is going to go out within the first 2 years. So mine did take a little bit longer than that. What I'm doing right now, this is the only pie I made because it was such a small crowd. Yvonne doesn't even like pie, so I had ice cream sundaes for her that she could make. And then Rachel can't have gluten. And so she had made herself some vegan, gluten-free pumpkin cookies with like a vegan cream cheese filling, which were really, really good. So it was just going to be Robin and Ava eating the pie because I wasn't planning to have pie and look at me, never use your teeth as tools. It didn't even work. I knew I didn't want to eat pie, so I just made this. This is a family favorite, literally. Oreo instant pudding, put in a graham cracker crust, whip on top, crush up Oreos and put them on top, which I don't do till I serve it because I don't want them getting all soft in the refrigerator. And this is one that my family really loves. I'll probably do it again at Christmas time. I think my husband just ate the last of it last night. Is he supposed to eat all that sugar? No, he is not, but he did. And I stayed away from it because I'm not even a big fan of that kind of pie. So it was a win-win all the way around. Happy people and happy me. I do a very traditional Thanksgiving dinner: mashed potatoes and gravy, turkey, stuffing, rutabagas or turnip, squash. Let's see, am I missing anything? Pearl onions, and that's pretty much it. And then pies. Because, oh, we do the sweet potato pie, sweet potato casserole. That's kind of a southern thing that has marshmallows on top that I actually learned from my sister when she moved to Florida. So did I even think to film the plate when it was done? No, I completely lost my mind. So we had a great relaxing day. I watched a Christmas movie we watched together. Yvonne and I played Monopoly twice, the long one, the old-fashioned one. She beat me once, I beat her once, but she had beat me the day before, so it's 2-1. She's definitely on top. And then, you know, it was time to relax, but we had a lovely Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are enjoying your holiday season, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not. Tomorrow's video will be all about Christmas decorating with the tree. So remember, as always, God loves you, I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.